Welcome to the Emotional Fitness Podcast, where you're just 10 minutes away from a great day every day. I'm your host, Levi, otherwise known as the Mind Body Guy. Today's Trigger Tuesday, so let's get straight into our E-WOD for the day. Today's inquiry prompt is: reflect on a situation where you feared the worst and it actually happened. How did your fears contribute to the outcome? And what could you do differently next time to break this pattern? So here I'm not even talking about big things. I'm talking about these multiple micro thoughts that come in our brain. I'm going to get sick. I know it. He's never going to notice. It's going to be so boring. I'm not going to have anyone to talk to, and I'm not going to enjoy myself. What's the point? It's never going to work anyway. It's these micro moments that we want to start to become, as we become more mindful and more conscious and less pressurized inside, as we become more centered. What we want to do, because most of us have spent our whole lives turning down our connection to our sensations and emotions and feelings because it's been too painful to continue to keep the volume up. And so we've had to continually just start armoring up and protecting ourselves more and turning down the volume, disconnecting from ourselves. It's a brilliant strategy to help us manage something painful, right? But what it does is it reduces our ability to really feel the good as well. So as we go through this, we're going to start to turn up the volume. And one of the things we do in this is start to listen to our automated thoughts. Because when we look at someone's actions and we really listen to their words and the words when they're just talking, we can tell exactly what's happening on in their mind and what's happening inside their brain. And we know what their subconscious is, how it's programmed, really. So we're going to start to listen to these little micro, it's never going to work. I know I'm going to get sick. These things and go, because one of the most, it's crazy, but one of the most beneficial things for the subconscious, one of the things the ego loves to do is be right. To say, ah, I knew it. To go, ah, that's exactly how I thought it would go. Because that thought is safe, right? Think about someone who's anxious, someone who's got OCD, someone who, if what are they doing? They're worried about the future. There's a potential pain or threat in the future, and they're trying to control that. What they're trying to do there is therefore make themselves safe. Now, what about the thought that I knew it? I knew that. Yep. That's a very safe thought, right? And so one of the things that the ego likes to get us to do in our subconscious, our survival mechanism, is to keep us in the same place. It would rather us never do anything new. It would like to stay in the box, so to speak, right? That's why it's so like we have to push out of our comfort zone, because if the ego had its way, it would stay in that comfort zone together because it's a lot more safe. Think about way back when if I'm in a rainforest and I stay in the same spot and I'm protected and I know every part about that spot, am I safer there? Again, if there's food or whatever, but imagine if I'm in new places and I've got to look out and I don't know what that tree is and I don't know if there's a tiger around the corner or up or under that. It's a lot more threatening, right? So we have to understand that about ourselves and challenge it. Whenever we hear our voice start to repattern those, yep, this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to be. I'm already projecting it. And if I'm projecting a positive, that's great. But it's when we start to continually have these multiple, some people have hundreds of them every day where it's just, I'm almost predicting. The body is always, subconscious, always predicting ahead of time to keep us safe. And if all of these predictions are pain-based, are negative, then our life's going to be pretty shit. We're going to feel just dead. We're going to feel unhappy. We may feel like, not only do we need to turn down the volume, but we might need some extra help to turn down the volume. That's when we start taking medications to deaden ourselves off, when we start self-prescribing to manage this overthinking and this extra pain that we've got, right? That's when we start to go out and do really crazy things to give us some sort of joy. when the real joy is inside and it's there and available to us. But we need to first start to calm the past, reframe the past, and connect to ourselves again. So this prompt again is reflect on a situation where you feared the worst and it actually happened. Now, this is dangerous, right? Fearing the worst. We fear these worst, like this with anxiety, anxiousness, fearing the worst and it never happening. That happens a billion times a week for a lot of people. But when you fear the worst and it actually happens, the danger in that is it creates a confirmation to go, aha, you were right. It creates a little bit of evidence in the past. It's a new file for the subconscious to add to its list of already evidence-based. It's more evidence for the ego to filter to go, see, I told you, I told you, I told you, I told you. Whenever this happens, we get sick. Or this always happens and you never ever get noticed, or you always get taken advantage of here. So it's building up its file of evidence to filter all the new incoming information to help you feel safer, believe it or not. It's causing you pain in the moment and to try in its best thing to protect you like an overprotective parent. And that's really what the ego is. It's a parent that is really wanting the best for you, but doesn't know how to do that. And it's either being extra mean sometimes, it's lying to you a lot of the times, it's covering, it's filtering out the information. You can't handle that. So I'm going to filter this out and I'm just going to show you what you already believe. And that's where the danger, that's where these triggers, that's where the old style journaling that I talked about in episode 1, where you're just replaying the past. This is me. This is why most people get stuck and they just repeat their patterns for the rest of their life. Except most people get worse. As they're repeating these patterns, new things happen that someone takes advantage of them. They can't trust someone else. And so they don't get better, they get bitter. And their experiences in life get less and less and less. And they become more protective. They become more closed off, less open, less willing to share, less wanting less experiences, staying in the same place. And you eventually just become this old man that's sitting on his porch yelling at kids to get off his grass, right? It's like, I just want to be protected. You become really about security systems and it's just keep me safe. The world's shit, become negative. You become really cynical. I mean, cynicism, it's such a dangerous one of these things. It's just trigger. But every time you're cynical, right, what you're doing is basically saying, oh, the world's a pack of idiots. That actually releases serotonin in my brain, believe it or not, because it's putting serotonin's our status drug. It's putting me above everybody else. And you can see how that can become quite addictive. If I'm, these online critics or people that aren't feeling like they're doing anything in life, it's easy to go, oh, if I put someone down, strangely, that feels better in the moment. It never feels good after that. And it keeps us stuck in a horrible cycle. But this is where being unaware of our thoughts, not having any space. Remember, our number one job when we're getting here is to reduce the amount of input into our lives. If you've got your notifications on, if you've got all the social media apps, if you're allowing people to text you, phone you, email you, WhatsApp you, Facebook you, Instagram you, TikTok you, all these things, and you're coming home and you're driving in the car and it's always got to have music on. And when you can't ever have silence, your brain will have so much backed up pressure. Your emotions, your subconscious is just, and this is where you get these tension diseases, right? Um, anyway, so what we're doing with this prompt today is to show you how these self-fulfilling fear or prophecies and these fears can really keep us stuck. So go for that. Use that prompt, sit down with your journal or in your own time and just think, where do I, or just for the next rest of the day, rest of the week, just start to turn up the sensitivity and listen in more to your internal dialogue, or even listen to the words you're saying to others. How often are they trying to predict a future that you don't actually want, but a future that potentially is the same as what you've got? That's a self-fulfilling prophecy to keep you stuck in the same place. Okay. Have a great day. And remember, as I'm saying at the moment, the Emotional Fitness Club is launching November 6th, where we're going to be having 7 workouts a week, 1 workout a day, 5 glimmers, where we're building your ability to see the good in yourself, in life, and others, and 2 trigger-based prompts. Sometimes we do mindfulness exercises. Sometimes we do some trauma release. Sometimes we'll be doing but you'll be having a different workout of the day every day. And as a very special foundation offer, you get to be a foundation member at the Emotional Fitness Club for life for one price. You pay once and you're in for life. No subscriptions, no more. Every workout forever is yours. To get on this list, to get one and hopefully get one of these foundation lifetime offers, you must be on the VIP list. And to do that, click below or look in the show notes below or go to www.emotionalfitnessclub.com. Okay, I will see you at the next episode. Have a great day.